Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, NDAQ just filed its latest 8K report, and I'm seeing some interesting signals about their financial health and future plans. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. They've announced their second quarter results and a dividend. And we're going to dig into what these numbers really tell us about the business. Scroll Nasdaq Inc., exact name of registrant as specified in its charter scroll. So Nasdaq Incorporated, the company you probably know best for running the stock market itself, has put out its quarterly report. Think of this like the company giving us a postcard from its financial vacation showing us how much money it made and what it's up to. Scroll date of report, date of earliest event reported, the 23rd of July 2026 scroll. This filing is from the 23rd of July 2026 and it covers the second quarter of the year. It's important because it's official news directly from the company, not just rumors or analyst guesses. Scroll title of each class trading symbol's name of each exchange on which registered. Scroll one of the things this filing confirms is the different ways investors can own a piece of Nasdaq. We see their common stock traded under the ticker NDAQ on the Nasdaq stock market, and also Nasdaq Texas LLC. It also lists various types of bonds they have issued, like their 4.500% senior notes due 2032, which is essentially them borrowing money and promising to pay it back with a specific interest rate. Scrollatum 2.02. Results of operations and financial condition. Scroll, now let's get to the meat of it, their financial results. The company sent out a press release on the 23rd of July that details how they did in the second quarter of 2026. This is often where the most important financial highlights are shared. Scrollatum 7.01. Regulation FD disclosure. Scroll, they also posted slides for their earnings presentation online. Think of these as the visual aids their executives use when they talk to investors. It is helpful because it often breaks down the complex financial information into more digestible charts and key takeaways. Scrollatum 8.01. Other events. Scroll, and here is something many investors look forward to: a dividend announcement. On the same day, Nasdaq announced they've declared a quarterly cash dividend. This means they are sharing some of their profits directly with their shareholders. It's a way for the company to return value to those who own its stock. Scroll 99.1 press release dated the 23rd of July 2026 relating to financial results for the second quarter of 2026. Scroll, this press release, attached as an exhibit, is where we'll find the juicy financial details. While this 8K filing itself is more of an announcement that the information is available, the attached press release is where the real story unfolds. Scroll 99.2 press release dated the 23rd of July 2026 relating to the declaration of a quarterly cash dividend. Scroll, similarly, the second press release tells us about the dividend. They've decided to pay out money to shareholders. We don't have the exact amount here in the 8K, but the fact that they are paying dividends is generally a sign of financial stability and confidence from the company's management. Scrollatum 9.01, financial statements and exhibits. Scroll, digging deeper into the exhibits, tells us what documents are officially part of this filing. We have the press releases for financial results and the dividend, and also a cover page in a special format called XBRL, which is basically a computer-readable way to present financial data. Scroll B. Soon John A. Zecker Scroll, and finally, the filing is signed by company officials. John A. Zecker, who holds a pretty senior legal title, has signed off on this report, indicating it's been officially reviewed and approved by the company's leadership. Now, let's look at the broader picture presented by the attached press releases and what they often reveal. For a company like Nasdaq, which operates exchanges and provides financial technology, consistent revenue streams are key. We'd expect to see growth in their data services and listing services. The fact that they're declaring a dividend suggests their core businesses are generating enough cash flow to support payouts to shareholders, which is a positive sign. Investors often look at the growth in these areas to gauge the company's long-term health. For instance, a strong performance in their fintech segment, as hinted at by some recent news headlines, could mean they are successfully expanding beyond traditional exchange operations into newer, potentially higher growth areas. This diversification is crucial for a company in the rapidly evolving financial technology landscape. Looking at the bigger players who hold Nasdaq stock, like Investor AB and BlackRock Incorporated, shows that large, reputable institutions have significant stakes. This usually means they see long-term value in the company. When these big players are invested, it often adds a layer of stability and confidence for smaller investors. What I find most interesting here is the timing. Releasing earnings and dividend news simultaneously on the 23rd of July paints a picture of a company that is performing well enough to reward its shareholders, while also looking towards future growth. Of course, without the full details from the press releases, it is hard to give a definitive verdict. However, the structure of this filing announcing results, posting presentation materials, and declaring a dividend is a standard approach for companies that are confident in their financial footing. The real story will be in the numbers within those press releases. Are revenues up significantly year over year? Is profitability holding steady or improving? How are their debt obligations looking compared to their earnings? These are the questions we'd ask to truly understand Nasdaq's financial condition. A dividend increase or a strong beat on earnings estimates, as suggested by some headlines, would be particularly noteworthy. What I'm actually looking for is confirmation of strong growth in their data and technology services. This is where companies like Nasdaq are betting their future, and seeing consistent gains there will be the most telling sign of their long-term success beyond just the stock exchange operations. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded, comment, subscribe, and join our Discord community.